still in the running in all 3 events. And he'll look to start his day off with a win here. Again, like we said, it was a slow start for Staksrud yesterday, so we'll see if he tries to make any changes to get off to a better start.
Pretty accurate down the line there for Spartacus. Great shot.
You see the one-handed backhand. We don't see that too often in singles now.
That was a good call, because it definitely looked like it was going to go out, but it dipped in nicely. That was a really deep return by Spartacus, and Fed's able to weather that.
We talked about the importance of the return in our first match of the day, and of course that will continue in all the singles matches. Went for a really sharp angle on that backhand. Actually, just impressive the amount of topspin he was able to generate. Just a bit wide.
That was an intense backhand, though. That one-hander, that was something to be seen. Just a really good chess game right now by Fed. He's been working that forehand for the last 2 points, and sure enough, Spartacus is definitely leaning into that forehand. And then it goes right down the line. Fed's using the chess game well.
And that was almost an incredible return from Spartacus, but just a bit wide. Nice sequence there from Spartacus, able to finish it with a nice one-handed backhand flick. My personal favorite shot in the sport.
Same.
Love that shot.
Favorite shot.
Of course, Federico Staksrud, a great one-handed flick of his own. May get to see that in this match.
Just goes over the highest part of the net there with the open line. It's a tough shot. Just can't quite make it.
So tempting, that shot, and then you remember it is over the highest part of the net. But it's mostly after you miss the shot, so.
Right. It's a big forehand volley.
Fed leaning forehand on that one.
Beautiful little flick there to that high left shoulder. You know, the amount of torque these players put on their wrists in this game is fascinating. You know, I mean, they're kind of keeping soft tissue doctors in business, but it's amazing what they can do with their wrist action.
It was interesting that the shot we just saw Staksrud hit, where he kind of had that flick, that strong flick.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really see in cat and mouse like that speed up right at the other player, but I like the play.
Yeah, that was definitely a double shot for sure, but it worked.
Didn't quite catch all of that one. Did Spartacus?
Fed seems in pretty good control. This is a game that could get out of hand for Spartacus real quick if he doesn't adjust.
And almost a beautiful shot from Spartacus, called wide by Fed. And so close, hard to tell.
I mean, I feel like I see a little bit.
Tournaments are a fun and exciting way to grow your game. Connect with other players and stay active in the welcoming pickleball community. Whether you're a seasoned player or looking to try your first tournament, we have a place for you.
So everyone wants their share.
Spartacus backing into the railing on that return and still manages to get to the net. That's impressive.
And a heavy serve there.
I like that serve. Not only was it heavy, but it kicks up high, so like it jams Fed up when he's trying to hit and his elbow gets stuck to his rib cage. So those high bouncing balls are tough to return deep.
No
I think he wants to know if it
way.
bounced twice. I think he got it, though. That was amazing.
And it's out of the camera. It looks like it did bounce twice. Because Fed will get the serve
Looks
back.
like it.
Even the speed to get there 2.5 bounces later, you know. And for aesthetics, that was pretty good as well.
Yeah.
They
I
had
think based on the pace it came off the paddle, it made me think it bounced twice. But, man, if he had gotten that, that would have been amazing. Yeah, that was smart. Fed was definitely guessing forehand on Spartacus's volley. That was a smart down the line volley. Another good one-handed backhand there. Just can't convert at the end.
It was just dipping. I honestly don't know how Staksrud was able to get to take that shot out of the air because it was so low.
And
so
be
much
offensive
topspin.
with it almost.
Mr. Turn brings a game point for the top seed. And that away from making the quarterfinals, but Spartak Rahachou trying to make sure he doesn't do that. We were talking during the break just about some of the missed returns we saw in game one.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting to see if he goes tentative with his returns, so if he goes big on his returns, because he can't afford to go tentative, I don't think, against Fed. Wow.
So good. Just the anticipation from both guys there.
There was a volley that Spartacus was a little too soft on when Fed was at the baseline, and he kind of gave him the in.
And almost another incredible get there from Staksrud on the run, but good pressure there from Spartacus.
Much better pressure. Wow, that was a great get by Fed, because that one-handed backhand again sets him up for his closing volley, and he just can't convert. Spartacus, he's probably used to getting that one-handed volley and converting there, but Fed is defending the second ball after the great backhand.
And just caught him leaning, did Fed. I think the versatility on the Staksrud forehand is so impressive because obviously he can drive on both wings, but he also likes to go for that inside-out drop a lot of the times, and so you kind of have to be ready case in point, right there. And had a look at the ATP, but a little wide.
I mean, here, Spartacus is just kind of like smiling to himself. He's hitting good shots, and then better shots are coming back. You know, I mean, what do you do with that?
And that's playing the #1 seed.
Yeah.
It looks like Staksrud may have had him beat on that one if he'd gotten that one to go over the net. Sped it up cross court. But a chance here for Spartacus. Not out of it yet.
The lateral movement by Fed on some of these ATPs is just, it's impressive.
And that stays in from Federico Staksrud. We will get a timeout here from Spartacus. Just not a whole lot you can do when Staksrud's at his there. Maybe try to do a bit too much on that backhand.
That's a good spot there. Fed had to take one more step than he usually does for that shot, and I think it showed.
We haven't really seen a ton of use of kind of slice from Spartacus so far, especially, I'm sure he can do it with the one-handed. So I'd be interested to see if he maybe tries to stop driving with topspin, maybe start dropping with some cut or side spin, just to give a different look to Fed. Fed closing in on the victory 1 point at a time.
It's a rare miss by Fed there. Shakes it off. Hits him on the forehand pass. That's a good shot right there by Spartacus.
Never a bad time to get some momentum. We'll see how far it takes him.
A lot of these backhand cross-court volleys that Spartacus is doing seem to be pretty high over the net to Fed's backhand. He can go down the line or cross-court, and Spartacus is just kind of stuck between the two and handcuffed. He can't make a decision on where to go.
And that is going to do it. Federico Staksrud into the quarterfinals here in Las Vegas. His dominance continues, an 11-4, 11-1 victory over Spartak Rahachou. A good run for the number 49 seed coming all the way from qualies, getting some really good wins over Rafa Hewitt.